If the thought of approaching someone in real life and talking about what you do makes you want to crawl under a rock and stay there forever, or if every sales attempt you do make totally flops, then you need to watch this exclusive interview with Copy Posse sales coach and Fortune 500 sales leader, Renata De Melo. She is breaking down the old sales paradigm that keeps so many people hiding in their shells and focusing on all the wrong things. She will share the sales philosophy she's followed for over 2 decades to become an award-winning sales leader, and how she has helped countless others, including the members of my Spark membership, reframe the way they approach sales to close more deals, land more clients, and yes, make more money. So keep watching. Hey Posse, what's up? It's Alex, and welcome back to another exclusive interview with one of the incredible speakers taking the stage at Posse Fest Live, my upcoming marketing event that, trust me, you do not want to miss. You can learn more about Posse Fest at the link below and grab your ticket before they sell out. But first, in this interview, I sat down with the incredible Renata De Melo, who just so happens to be my sales coach inside my membership for freelance copywriters, Spark, and you can also learn more about that in the description box below. Now, I love this chat so much because she really breaks down the biggest mistakes people make when it comes to sales. And honestly, we have all been guilty of this, myself included. You'll learn what you actually need to do to make more sales and hit your revenue goals. And a little hint, it has nothing to do with having a website or a big social following or being like a pro salesperson. She'll talk about the #1 fear that keeps people stuck in sales. And most importantly, she'll explain the new sales paradigm and mindset shifts that you can make right now to make selling not only feel easier, but feel really, really good for you and everyone else involved. This was such a juicy interview filled with so many gems to help you break through your sales blocks. You are going to absolutely love Renata's approach to sales, and I promise it will feel a lot less scary after you watch this interview. Renata, hello! Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am so excited you're here.
Hey, thank you so much for having me here. I am so excited for our conversation.
I mean, I'm really excited for this conversation because what many of you might not realize as you're watching this might be the first time you're seeing Renata on your screen, but Renata has actually been behind the scenes at the Copy Posse for almost the last 2 years, serving as a sales coach in my Spark community. And she will be taking the stage at Posse Fest to share her amazing sales philosophy with the Copy Posse community. And I wanted to, introduce her to all of you, because when I say this woman will blow your mind when it comes to her sales philosophy and how to show up more powerfully in your business, how to shift your mindset to attract more sales, to find your dream clients. I mean, get ready. This is going to be such a juicy conversation. I know you have so much wisdom to share, Renata. Before we dive in, I really would love to share with everybody your story of how you got into sales, how you became known as the incredible sales leader that you are. Because like many people, I know sales can be this topic that kind of freaks a lot of people out. And if you're a copywriter or you're a service-based business or you're doing any sort of sales in your business, it can be this sticky topic. And your story into sales is so beautiful. So tell me, how did you get started?
Okay. So officially, my journey in sales started in corporate with, I spent over 20 years of my corporate life, mostly in sales. But really the story that you're referring to, Alex, is, that my first real sales job was at a farmer's market. In Canada, I had just arrived in Montreal. I lived in Montreal, Canada for 20 years. Had just arrived, didn't speak English or French. And it was in the middle of the winter, kind of break through the winter. And when spring came, there's this pop-up farmer's market. And I really needed a job to just get myself to stay in Canada at 15. I was 15 years old then. And I got to the store, the little, stand.
Yeah, stand. Yeah.
The stand. And I asked for a job, and I used a little French that I had, learned in those few months to ask for a job. And they noticed that I didn't speak the language. and they said, well, if you can sell, you can stay. And then they gave me 1 week. And that was the best incentive motivator that you can just like give anyone, because there's just such a big fire up my butt. And
like, I want to stay. Okay, I'll stop.
Right? Like, I need this. And it was there and then. And that was like one of the greatest lessons that I've had around sales. It was with that job. It really was with that job. And it was about sales is about building relationships. That's it. When you can really focus on it and see it through the lens of building relationships, then it just becomes a completely different ballgame, a completely different conversation. And I was able to stay, thank God, and actually made enough money that season to pay for my entire full year of schooling, which was something I was really proud of at the time and still now.
Yeah. And then, as you know, people heard in our intro, you went on to become more of a corporate sales executive. You were working for a Fortune 500 company in Canada, and you've had this incredible journey into sales, and then started your sales coaching business, and then, you know, came in to become the in-house sales coach at Copy Posse, which I'm so excited for your wisdom. And the reason why, and I want to share this with everybody, that I knew I was looking to bring in a coach to support my members with sales, because this word, I mean, even when you heard us just talk about sales right now, you might have been thinking something about sales. You might have been like, oh, sales are the worst. I hate sales. Sales are icky. And I was realizing, as someone who's just always loved sales, like, I mean, literally, I go into a Sephora, and when like someone upsells me, I'm like, yeah, I see what you're doing. Like, I love it, right? I love that relationship building, that conversation. But I realized that so many people in my community, especially as new copywriters and new freelancers, were really kind of freaking out about that word, whether or not they even knew that it was an uncomfortable topic for them. And so when I was searching, you know, high and low to find a sales coach to bring into the Posse community, I knew it had to be someone special, because while there is no shortage of strategies and tactics and sales scripts and things like that you can follow, we all know that there's a difference between having the formula and then actually being able to show up in this really empowered way to rock sales. And when I met Renata and heard her sales philosophy, I was like, yes, this is what we are talking about. This is the conversation that I want to have. And so do you want to share with the Posse, Renata, what your sales philosophy is? Because I think it's so beautiful, and I think it's so powerful, and it's different than a lot of the sales training that you see online.
Yeah, of course. So to me, in the way I approach sales, is that sales to me is that it's one of the greatest acts of leadership that someone can have, and it really takes you moving beyond yourself and your fears and your insecurities and your need for validation to show up for something much bigger than our stories, right? Than what's holding us back. And so the way we approach sales is that we have the heart of sales and the brain of sales. Yeah. And the brain of sales is all the strategies and processes and steps in place for us to actually have a proper sales conversation and to navigate a proper sales arch. And these are just really timeless principles that you can Google it and you can find it in like books, and it's figure outable. You can find the information. But the thing is that we're not in lack of information. We're in the information age, right? We're not of lack of information. It's really the integration, the ability to do it in a way that it's with integrity and that it feels true and it feels honest and it feels really right for you, that we're in lack of. And that's where the heart of sales comes in. The heart of sales is all about getting yourself to a state of presence, a state of being where you're tapped in, tuned in, turned on, and ready to serve. And really, when you can align these two together, you become the vessel, the vehicle for something much greater than yourself to move through you, and you just become unstoppable.
I love that so much. Every time you talk, I get goosebumps because I think that is the magic, right? Because when people feel uncomfortable with sales, it's usually because one, they don't know what they're doing, or maybe they don't even want to admit that sales is something they even really need to master in their business. But if you're having conversations and anyone is giving you money, obviously sales is a natural part of it, but we get so shut down when we talk about it. And I think the reason for that is, one, we can all think of a time in our lives when we had a negative sales experience, whether it was like at a shop or someone calling us on the phone and we're just like, oh, like these salespeople, right? Knocking on the door. Like we have this aversion to it. And we often don't think about the positive sales experiences because we don't even think of them as sales experiences. But if you actually, and I know you have led the posse through this exercise where it's like, hey, we can immediately all think of a time where sales just made us go, ugh, yuck. And then we can think of a time where we're like, oh, actually, I've had a really positive sales experience. Like when I bought my house or when I bought my car, when I bought this program, or, anytime we're spending money for something for ourselves. And it's so easy to forget that sales can actually be a really, really positive experience. And I love that you share the head and the heart, because I do think the other part of us that feels really awkward about sales is when we're following a strategy and someone tells us like, this is what you have to do and this is the formula, and it's like, just do this and read this script and you'll be good. But when it doesn't feel natural, when you don't really believe that you are there to show up, to step up, to serve, and to get past your own stories that you're telling yourself about sales, it can feel so uncomfortable. And then people pick up on that. And then you're like, ooh, like this is not a comfortable sales experience. And so my next question for you is, as you know, the posse, so many of the people in this community are marketers, they're copywriters, they're freelancers, they're having sales conversations. Some are new, some are more experienced, but what would you say are the biggest mistakes that people make when they're showing up in a sales experience and, let's say, trying to land a client?
Yeah, beautiful question. I think that the biggest mistake that happens in sales actually is that, one, people avoid sales altogether.
Yeah.
And in avoiding sales altogether, you end up getting yourself into sales conversations because it's unavoidable. It's just part of the process, period, but completely unequipped, completely unprepared. And there's this like image somebody told me once, I just feel like I'm throwing spaghetti on the wall. And it's just like really that, you're just like throwing stuff out there and you have no idea what's happening. But when we avoid sales, we get busy with, oh, I need a website because that's what people are going to find me. Oh, I need funnels. Oh, I need to do ads. And these are all great things at a certain point in the journey, likely not where many of us are yet. And so these are important things, and it's part of the, just like marketing strategies that are really efficient, but not until you're well into your multiple six figures in business. You really don't need any of that. And you can easily get into your multiple six figures with a small audience. My audience is, I have a couple of thousand people on Instagram, and I'm so grateful for them. I love that the community that we have created. When I started, I had not even 1,000, and you don't need it. You need some great clients that are really there watching you, and you need to know how to start conversations and establish relationships with these people where they trust you. So and that leads me to the second biggest mistake around sales is that people treat sales transactionally.
Yeah.
And when you're seeing the other side, the sale, as a number, as what is going to get you to your 10K a month, or what's going to get you to validate that you're meant to do what you're doing right now, whatever these things are doing for you, that dopamine hit is doing for you, whatever it's translating as, just know that it's still validation, and it's still a need to affirm that you belong in your seat right now. And so we become so transaction oriented as opposed to relationship oriented. And when we can really see sales as I love this analogy, and I've shared with you before that it's a bridge. It's a bridge for other people to get to where they want to, and if you can see sales as a bridge to elevate others, to elevate yourself and others, we all go together. Now it's a completely different story, and it really starts with you building a relationship with the people that's on the other side, with the person on the other side. And that is, these two are some of the big mistakes that people make in regards to sales.
Yeah.
And then really the last one that I see a lot happening, and just like throw this in there, is that during the conversation, people are so focused on the transaction and on the small agenda, they completely forget to really tap into the big agenda. Why are people really there?
Yeah.
And do I have what it takes, and the vocabulary, the know-how, the strategies to get people to be in a comfortable enough space where they are comfortable sharing their big agenda there? Because if they're there getting copy for something, they're not just looking for copy for something. They are looking for something bigger that will unlock something for them, or that will give them more time, or that will support them in achieving a big milestone in their business. And you really need to unlock that. And the tendency is to really stay stuck within the small agenda.
I love that small agenda, big agenda. And you said so many things that as you were talking, I'm like, oh my God, when you say you don't need a website when you're just getting started, I know that is such a hang up for a lot of new business owners. And truly, I mean, I know that some of you are going to feel called out by this, but when you are just getting started as a one-on-one service-based entrepreneur, you do not need a website, you need a client. And will there be people out there who are like, send me your website? And you're like, oh my God, see, I knew it, I need a website, right? But I built a multiple six-figure copywriting business without ever having a website. In fact, I started my business in 2011, and I didn't have a website until 2016. And that was because I was building relationships. I had clients that kept coming back to me, and I kept thinking, well, why do I need a website? I don't need more business. I'm turning more people away than I'm saying yes to. And so I think sometimes, and I do this too, and it's not just with sales, it's any uncomfortable thing that we know we have to do in our business to move it forward. We avoid the hard stuff or the icky stuff or the uncomfortable stuff. And rather than pushing through that, we look for all these other things that the internet tells us we have to do in order to get our business off the ground, whether it be like a funnel, an ad. I have to post on social media every day. I have to build a website. And the truth of the matter is, you don't need any of that. You just need one relationship. And I love when you mentioned that. And then I also love that you talk about, showing up on calls and just simply being the bridge. And I have to say, like, when I first started doing sales calls, I was so uncomfortable because I felt like I had to be the expert. I felt like I had to be like, I know all, and you're hiring me because I know all. And what I realized through the whole journey was that they were coming to me simply because they needed help. And you don't need to be farther along the path, than somebody else in order to help them. And that is a huge realization of, they're looking for a copywriter. They're looking for a thought partner. They're looking for someone to, bounce ideas off of. They're looking for someone to connect with. And when you can put yourself, and this isn't just for copywriting, it's for any sales, when you can put yourself in the shoes of the person you're trying to sell and realize, what might they be experiencing right now? What fears are actually coming up for them? Is it the first time they're hiring someone for this role? That would be a really scary investment, possibly. And I think we tend to overlook that when we're speaking to someone who we're trying to sell, they're just another human on the other side of the line with their own stories and fears. And so really understanding, okay, how can I hear this person, reflect back to them that I understand what it is they need help with, and then help be the bridge, as you say, Renata, to take them over to the other side. And as soon as you shift into that mindset of like, I actually don't care if they hire me or not, I just want them to have a really beautiful conversation with me and feel like I get them. And then guess what? They might not hire you right away, but if they've had a positive experience with you, that is a relationship that could turn into something at any point down the road. I mean, I've heard people in the posse say, I was talking to this client and then they ghosted me. And I'm like, well, what do you mean they ghosted you? It's like, well, they didn't get back to me. I'm like, how long has it been? They're like, a week. I'm like, listen, business owners are so busy and you have full permission to follow up. You have full permission to check in. You have full permission to be like, hey, is there anything else I can help you with? And if that doesn't turn into a client right away, it's not a lost cause, which again goes back to what you said, Renata, about that like transactional mindset. It's like, if you're focusing on the relationship first and you have a positive experience, that is worth its weight in gold. Yeah. And I could like just rant all day about all this because I love that you shared that.
Yeah, it feels like that when you go on a date and you're just like, did they call me? Did they call me? Are they going to call me? Is the message here yet? Are they going to call me? How about, well, the weekend's coming up, it's going to call me, you know? And so we will get so clingy around it, right? Because we're putting so much pressure on the sale, on that transaction. But if we actually see this as a marathon, it's a long game, hey, let's really build a relationship and God knows where it's going to land, but we're just going to do it anyways because I love it, because I'm here for it, because that's my mission. And you know what, Alex, as you were sharing, I just remembered one of the things that I share often around the goal of a sales conversation is for you to support them to get into a fully embodied. Can I curse here? I'm not going to curse.
YouTube doesn't like the curses.
I'm not going to curse.
It's hard.
Yeah, I know. It's like when the passion's there and you really want to let it out. Okay, we're just going to keep it. A fully embodied yes.
Yes.
Or a fully embodied no.
Yeah.
And it's none of your business if they're gonna like you or not, if they're gonna come back and take care and just hire you or not. Your job is just to really help them navigate this decision, walk the bridge, so that they can decide if they really want that to go that way or that way, and everything else just let go.
There's something just so empowering about like, I'm here for you. I hear your challenges. I can help you. Here's the bridge. Cross it or not. I'm okay, girlfriend. Like, you don't want to? Totally fine, you know? And I think that does feel so empowering and it does feel so light. And I know, like, and I don't want to not address that when you're in a place in your business where you really need the money. I understand that it's hard to just be this like, you know, I don't give a F, you know, energy. But honestly, it's remembering that any conversation can turn into a future client. And if all you did was have imagine if all you did was have one sales conversation a day, whether it's face-to-face, whether it's at an event, you know, whether it's on Zoom, whether it's just a message between someone on social media or, you know, LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook. What would happen if you planted that many seeds throughout the course of the year? But yet we're so afraid of sales. And I want to talk about that a little bit because, again, you know, Renata, I know you do this in Spark when we welcome in our new members. Like you say, hey, when you hear that word, what comes up for you? And we hear a lot, and most of it isn't sales are amazing. I love sales. I mean, of course, it's your mission to really flip the narrative on that. And I think we're really starting to do that with our Posse members. But why are people so afraid of selling? And what are those fears that you navigate, you know, consistently with new business owners?
Yeah, I call it the collective sales trauma. I feel like there's really a real sales trauma that exists. Yeah. And there's just the repetitive experiences around old sales experiences and, you know, just the old paradigm of sales where you're pushy and they're just manipulative and they just want to get to that number and they do whatever they can and they just don't let you go and you get tired and you say yes because you're so tired of like being there in that conversation. People are so afraid of being perceived as that. That's a big one. I don't want to be pushy. I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to be manipulative. it just like the thought of, and so here's what we do. The thought of the past experience that I've had around sales get projected onto me and who I can potentially be in my conversation right now. So it's like the lens from the past that sucked, that really didn't feel good. And that happened multiple times generationally, right? Like mom didn't like sales guys, daddy didn't like sales guys. We've heard on TV, we've seen it, in different shows. Yeah. And so that perception of it gets projected onto what you could be for that person.
Right.
And so we're just like merging this past and future, into this like, oh, I don't want this. And really, if we can just pause and say, oh, what do I choose? What do I want to be in this? How do I want to have this conversation? What are the values that I want to have here? Things can change. So the sales trauma is big. It's big. And we are dissolving that with this new paradigm of sales revolution, right? With sales evolution. We're dissolving this, but that's one thing. And the other thing that it really activates in people is their own fears of rejection, worthiness, scarcity. What does it mean about me? And the stories that I tell myself and the voices that get really loud in my brain when I can't, that client doesn't say yes to me, or that client ghosts me, or, or that on the call. And it's like, okay, well, just pick yourself back up. Like just allowing yourself to make mistakes and suck at something new, and just allow yourself to put in the reps so that, hey, you can build that muscle to show up strong in your sales leadership. And so the whole thing around what does it all mean about me? I'm rejected. I'm not good enough. I'm not meant for this. I'm not worthy of this. What if I lose this? What if I can't get this? All these stories are very much alive. And that's what we dissolve and untie bit by bit, and sometimes with a big leap in the Posse community.
Yeah, I love that you shared that, because it really is a process. And it's hard to communicate to someone that truly becoming a sales leader or embodying this version of yourself that understands like, yeah, I'm showing up and I'm serving and I'm supporting, is really like undoing a lot of those stories. And we all have them. I mean, I have thought about that in so many different ways in my business. Like if I need to ask an expert to come speak in my mastermind, or I want to interview someone that I don't know on my YouTube channel, even though logically, I'm like, if they say no, that doesn't mean that they think I'm fill in the blank. But we all have this crap that we bring forward from our childhood, whatever it is, past sales experiences, this lens, this old paradigm, like you said, that we're all applying to everything, that we go, oh, if this happens, then this must mean this. And it reaffirms a lot of our own fears and doubts. And so especially if you're just getting started in business, I don't care who you are, unless you're like a total, narcissist who has never stopped to doubt yourself for 1 second. You've probably thought to yourself, can I really do this? And if someone says to you, you know what? No, I'm not ready for this right now. Even if you're like, I fully believe logically, rationally that they're just not ready for this, subconsciously, we're like, I knew it. I knew I couldn't do this. And so it's really not as simple as just starting a business that revolves around sales. It's about embodying, it's about undoing, it's about doing the work, it's about showing up consistently, it's about leaning into the discomfort. And I love that you show up so powerfully in the Posse community. And this is a lot about what we're going to be talking about at Posse Fest, which I'm so freaking excited about, because it really is just standing in your leadership and being able to communicate what you do and how you can get people to cross that bridge. And I love it so much. And this sort of leads me into a couple final questions for you. As you mentioned, this new paradigm, like there's the old paradigm of sales, which we're all very familiar with. And by the way, like we're also bombarded with sales messages constantly that like, no wonder we're all just like walls up, like I can't, like someone's knocking at our door. I get 18 million spam calls a day that I'm just like, oh my goodness. And I feel bad for the actual businesses that call me, because you better believe I'm never answering my phone. And so I understand that this old paradigm, there's a reason why we're so adverse to it. But what is the new paradigm of sales? What is this evolution that's coming?
Yeah, that's exciting part. Look, this new paradigm to me is about true connection, mutual elevation, and collaboration. And when you can see sales as an opportunity for you to support somebody in their elevation, and in doing that, they're supporting you in your elevation, and everybody supporting each other in our mission to create something really impactful and powerful in the world, and that you're choosing your clients based on your values, based on how do you want to spend your time and who you want to hang out with. And that it's really from the heart. Like, I love being in this. And therefore, I choose to pour myself into this person that they may work with me or may not, but it doesn't matter. Exactly. Because I'm committing to being this bridge, period. To me, that's the new paradigm of sales. That's the sales evolution, revolution, evolution. And here's the thing, no longer me against you.
Yeah.
Who's going to get better, end of it. Yeah. Oh, am I going to get the price that I want? Or, oh, can I work less for what I want? It's like, can we just show up? It's about collaboration. It's about us showing up generously with what we have, with how we want to serve, and really working with the other person to create something that is just a perfect fit for both of you. And it's just a win for all, because then it's just like really impacting everyone, and not only the other person, but their teams and how they show up and how they feel about you, and then the referrals that they're going to give you in the future. And so, this is the sales revolution.
Love that. And I love what you said about collaboration over competition, because I feel like this comes up a lot when you're learning a new skill or you offer a service that is similar to somebody else's. Maybe you're a copywriter and you're in the posse and you're like, oh my God, we're all gunning for the exact same clients. There's only a limited number of clients. And like, if that person gets it, it means I lost out on it. And truly, I mean, that is such like old paradigm thinking, because when you truly understand that if you're showing up as your full and embodied self, where you're like, I just want to help this person, if they decide to go with someone else and being like, I am trusting that was not for me, there's something so beautiful and empowering about that. And I can't tell you the number of times I've had people in the posse say, I got this no, or I got this, redirection, not rejection, redirection. And oh my God, if I would have gotten that, it wouldn't have created this opportunity. I wouldn't have gotten this client. And I know it's hard to trust the path when you can't see that far ahead, but to be able to fully show up in that energy of like, what's meant for me will not miss me, is truly like, there's nothing more attractive. There's not, and I don't mean attractive like, hey baby, hey, I mean like, wow, when you have that energy on client calls, your clients are just like, yes, they don't need me. And I freaking love that.
And there's something about what you said that is really important, is that the no's are sacred. Their no's are sacred and your no's are sacred, because every no gets you closer to a more fully embodied yes.
Yes.
And if it was a no for them, it's also, what's the opportunity here? Oh, it's an opportunity for me to expand, develop, to improve, and bring in more leadership, more fire, more of myself, what it is. How do I, so point the finger at me, inward. Okay, how do I get to show up in ways that I just bring in more presence and more leadership? And what are the values, what are the things that that get to be honored that made it a no. And if we can really look at every no being sacred because it's making you closer to a fully aligned yes, and once you get to work with that fully aligned yes, oh my gosh, you're like, the difference between working with dream clients versus the difference versus working with clients that you eventually get resentful towards, that you're like, oh my gosh, how do I get out of this? And that you're not a match to their working styles or their team, but you said yes because you didn't want to lose the sale. That's when we get into sticky situations, and every yes that was meant to be a no will lead to resentment.
Wow.
100% of the time.
I have been there. As you're talking, I'm like, oh, yep. Oh, yep. Remember that. And sometimes it's a yes. And like you're saying a yes on a sales call, even though in your body you're like, oh God, I don't think this is a yes, but I really want to help this person. It might not even be like I think it's like, I really want to help this person. And you know, sometimes by not honoring your own no's, well, all the time you're brewing resentment. And so that is so powerful to remember. Honestly, like every no is a new opportunity that gets you closer to a yes. And the only thing that's worse than getting a no is not getting a no. Because if you're not getting no's, and I don't mean like no, like where people are literally gonna be like, no, you know, usually a no just looks like, hey, it was a really great conversation, I'm just not ready right now. It's like, that doesn't stay, okay, no problem. You know what I mean? Or it's like, hey, we went in another direction, or we've deprioritized hiring this person in our business right now. Okay, whatever, right? But if you're not getting those no's, then it means you're not putting yourself out there. And I think that is where so many people get stuck. It's like they put a few irons in the fire. If those don't turn into something, again, it's reinforcing that story. Like, I knew I couldn't do it. I knew I couldn't do it. And so my last question for you is, I'd love to leave the posse with like some really powerful mindset shifts that hopefully, I'm hoping listening to this, you guys, that it'll help you get unstuck, whether you're in, you know, this new phase of your business and you know that you need to be doing outreach, or you know you need to be connecting with potential clients, but you're just stuck in fear because you've had some losses, or you've had some rejection, or you haven't experienced that big win or that yes from that dream client. What, Renata, are some mindset shifts that the posse can really hold on to as they're, you know, going into, you know, this growth phase of their business?
Yeah. So in the way I teach sales, in the sales, this new sales paradigm, I bring in 12 principles, and each of these 12 principles are really the catalyst for a powerful mindset shift. And we cover these in the Posse community. But I'll bring in 3 here just for sake of time and to give the community something to work with. First one, the most important one, is show up with high intention and low attachment. When you can show up with what are you really there for? How can you serve to generously to your highest ability without any attachment? If it's going to convert, if you're going to get the money, if you're going to get a yes or no, just serve. High intention, low attachment. That's going to change your energy right away. The second one is plant seeds all day, every day. We're planting seeds all day, every day. And what that means is that it's not about the transaction. It's really about the every conversation, every exchange, every relationship. See this as a little seed that you have just planted, and now you get to water it, and now you get to work the ground, and now you get to remove the weeds, and now you get to make sure you get some sun, and you get to take care of it and nurture it, and maybe something's going to sprout, something's going to come out of it. You don't know what, you don't know when, and it doesn't matter. Your job is to plant seeds all day, every day. This will really allow you to shift on, oh, now it's sales time. Oh, now I have to do outreach time. No, you just you are the vehicle of that mission, right? You're there to do a job or something that is really powerful that you want to create in the world. For a lot of them of the Posse community, because they're copywriters, it's about telling stories. So your mission is to tell stories in the world and to bring stories to life and to give voices to things and visions that are stuck in people's mind and just don't know how to get it out there. That's a big mission. And so if you can just own that hat and wear your mission all day, every conversation is a seed you're planting. Guaranteed. Don't care when it's going to come out, when it's going to sprout, and when you're going to harvest. It doesn't matter. Your job is just to plant them and watch. You're going to be surprised by what happens. And the last one I want to leave the Posse community with is that you really get to every sales opportunity experience is really beyond our paychecks and the money that we want in the account and validation to be in, to be a solopreneur or a service provider or creative or whatever it is that you're doing. And it's about something much greater than you that wants to move through you. And you get to tap into what that something is. And when you can really align your desires and your mission, your intention with that mission, that something greater than you that wants to move through you, then you become unstoppable.
So good. So good. And I mean, we're going to get so much deeper into all this juiciness at Posse Fest. As you mentioned, you coach every single month inside our Spark community. And by the way, you guys, Spark doors are currently closed, but if you are a copywriter who is really looking to get your business off the ground, you want to learn sales strategies, you want to learn how to attract your dream clients and really work through a lot of the stuff that Renata and I have been chatting about, we'll post a link below. You can get on the wait list so that you'll be notified the next time doors open. And if you don't already have your ticket to Posse Fest, what are you doing? Get your ticket to Posse Fest. It is going to be the party of the year. We are going deep into modern marketing strategies, but we're also going to be talking a lot about sales and mindset. And Renata is going to be leading an incredible experience where we are, going to be able to go deeper into this topic and really share and connect with one another. And I just have to share one quick story before we end, because when I tell you that going to events, and Renata, I am sure your business is the same, going to events completely shifted my business, because no longer was I trying to just have sales conversations via social media or email or Zoom. I was going to events and I was just showing up and I was building relationships. The first client I ever met at an event, they hired me for a $700 project. That then turned into about a $4,000 a month and then a retainer, and then an $8,000 a month retainer. And then we negotiated, commissions, and I worked with them for over 10 years. And I did the math the other day. That was a 6-figure client over the course of 10 years. That was a $1 million client. And I met them at an event where literally we weren't even talking about business. We were just connecting, and I was hearing about them, hearing what they were all up to. I told them what I do, and then look what happened. And so I know that going to events can feel scary. It can feel like a big investment, but in my experience, there's absolutely no place more powerful than meeting clients, future partners, coaches, mentors, and of course, just friends. And that to me is why we're doing this. It can be a lonely world. Entrepreneurship can be incredibly lonely. I want people to come to Posse Fest and feel like they are coming home. And I'm going to be there. Renata's going to be there. Our incredible speakers are going to be there. And I just would love to see each and every one of you there. So Renata, any final words to say? I would love to know, where can people go to find out more about you? We'll add some links below. And then of course, we'll hang out at Posse Fest.
Well, I'm going to be at Posse Fest. I don't know about you, but I'm not missing that party. There is no way. I'm going with my daughter, mom, sister. Everybody's coming together to help me with my daughter so I can be there. Yeah, and of course we can connect on Instagram at I am Renata De Melo. You can put the link there. But really, I would love to see you all in person and get to know you in person. So because there's nothing trumps your presence, your physical presence, and the people's opportunity to feel your energy and just hang out with you, where you're just relaxed, being authentic, talking about, just human things, not about business. People do business with people that they love spending time with. And so get over the need to, get in that little rat race and just show up, have fun, and just see what happens.
Love that. Love it, love it, love it. Renata, thank you so much. I know we could just keep talking, but I feel like this was such a powerful conversation. And I hope those of you listening who have been a little resistant to putting yourself out there, to sales, to trying and trying again when you get, some no's. Like, we love a full body no because it's getting you closer to a full body yes. Renata, thank you so much. Thanks for being on my channel, and I will see you very soon. All right, guys, if you enjoyed that video, make sure to check out the next one from me right here. And you can click right here to get a free gift. Want to learn how to write binge-worthy emails that your audience just cannot stop reading? How do you find amazing storytelling ideas to use in your emails? Want to hear the most obvious place you have never thought of for finding the best subject line inspo? And what is one small habit that you could start doing like today that would instantly make you a better storyteller? You better believe you are getting the juiciest answers to all of those questions and more as I sit down with my brilliant and hilarious friend and expert email copywriter, Laura Belgray.